Hey guys, today I want to do a speed cubing video, not a very traditional speed cubing video. The thing is, I've got my Supernova Wukui 4x4M here. It's definitely the best speed cube I've had when it comes to 4x4, and it's amazing. I've gotten my times down from 230 down to 140, which is pretty good for me. So yeah, what I want to do today is I want to compare two different methods. One that I basically taught myself. That's the one I was trying to improve my time with, and I looked up online, and it turns out I was just teaching myself the 3-2-3 method, which is commonly used among speed cubers. So this is the first one that I'm going to use, a very good speed cubing method, and the second one is not a very good speed cubing method. It's actually the layer by layer method like Super Antonio Vivaldi uses. So I want to try this and see just how different my times are. So let's check this out and start solving this. So I'm going to scramble this and start with the speed cubing method, in other words the 3-2-3 method. So what that is I'm solving the centers first, and then the edges of one face, and then I'm solving 3, then 2, then 3 of the remaining edges, and then I'm solving it like a 3x3. So let's begin. So I usually start with the white face because I'm not that color neutral. But then again, on the 4x4 I tend to vary a bit because it's much easier to be color neutral for the 4x4 centers. So I did the white and yellow, now I did the red and green. I'm actually working on the green at this point. And then I just have blue and orange left, and that is done. So now I move on to the edges of the white face. So the blue and white edge was already paired up, if I'm not mistaken. Then I had the green and orange left at this point, and that was that. So I'm right now I'm putting the edges on the white face, and putting the white face on the bottom, doing one turn on the middle layer, and now I'm solving 3 edges at a time. And as you can see, I had the red-blue edge already paired up, so that was one less edge to care about. So right now I'm doing this pairing of all 4 edges. I actually paired up 4 instead of 3. That happens quite regularly. And now I'm pairing two more edges. And there's one parity error left with the yellow, orange, and red-green edges. And right now I'm solving that parity at 1:15. So that's actually quite reasonable for me. All that's left is the 3x3 solve. I think I was quite fast because my final time on that solve was around 1:38. Then again, I already had the white cross, so it's reasonable. I guess it was 25 seconds, which is quite good for me on a 4x4, because I usually have around 22-second average is on the 3x3. So yeah, it's a good time. So 1:38.48. Honestly, it's a really good time for me. I average at 140, as I said, and here I even had a parity error, so it's quite reasonable. Now, second solve, and that is going to be the longer one with the most algorithms and the most complex method. So I'm starting with the white face. So now I'm trying to pair up the edges with the white face, starting with the white-blue edge. And to do so, I'm solving them as you would solve the 3x3 top face, the cross, when you're a beginner. It was actually quite a complicated beginning to this solve. I wasn't exactly 100% sure of what I was doing because I'm not used to solving it like that. I think I can be faster than what I was on this solve. It would be interesting to just carry on solving it like that just for a bit. So now that I had the bottom face, I was doing the corners at this point, using just the beginner's method for corner orientation. And now, I don't know if you can see this, but I'm trying to find places where centers already have pairs of parts. Here I'm turning the orange center just to pair it up with another orange piece, and then changing the orientation of the orange center to basically have 2 orange parts together and then put them on along the orange edge. It's quite subtle. Basically, I'm just orienting the 3x3 centers to get as many matched colors as possible. And now I'm using the beginner's method to put the edges in place. It's kind of an F2L, but since there are so many colors to figure out, it's just easier using the beginner's method for the edge placement of the second layer, which is actually the same exact method as the 3x3 in this case, because you don't really care what's on the third layer to solve. Now, at this point, I'm solving the third layer centers, well, 4x4 centers on the third layer, and to do this, I'm using just regular slice moves to switch them, and it's not really a very advanced method. It's just the only one I could find for this this part of the solve. Again, it's one of my first layer by layer solves, so it was kind of difficult at first. Just using, you know, like just sexy moves, R, U, R prime, U prime, except with slice moves only. Alright, so still solving the center, so that is probably the longest part of this part of the solve. I'm pretty sure that there were easier ways to get this done. It's just that I didn't apply them, so that was too bad. And now I think, okay, almost all the centers are solved. As you can see, I'm taking care of the red center at this point. I think that was the last one. And now I'm taking care of the edges. Now to do this, I'm pairing up edges and using just regular 4x4 edge pairing algorithms. So as you can see, pairing it up and doing things backwards. So I'm doing a setup move, then pairing up the edge, replacing it with a broken edge, then doing the setup moves the other way around. And at this point, I've solved the three first layers, and all that's left is the fourth layer. Now that one was a bit complicated. I had trouble orienting the edges the way I wanted to, because to switch edge parts with each other, I used parity algorithms that I know from the 4x4. As you can see, I'm using a few right now, and that did take a long time, longer than I thought it would. So again, doing the same thing, and now using a parity algorithm to pair up these edges. And all that's left is the yellow red and yellow blue at this point. And yeah, I changed the orientation so I could use the only algorithm I know. And here it is. So now I've got just a 3x3 solve at the end, and I think, yeah, there was one parity error if I'm not mistaken, and it was red and green. So yeah, so this is just the last parity I had, and this is the end of the solve. So 4 minutes, 0.01. So as you have just seen, I solved the 4x4 in 1 minute 35 with the Speedcubing method, and 4 minutes with the layer by layer method, which is about 2.6 times more, which is a lot. But I have to say I was expecting worse, to be honest, because it's not a Speedcubing method at all. And it takes many more algorithms, much more thinking throughout the solve. And to be honest, I think that's what made it much more interesting. I had much more fun solving it with the layer by layer method rather than solving it with the Speedcubing method. So I highly recommend you guys try it out. If you want me to make another video explaining it with more detail, I don't mind. I really had fun doing that. So, so let me know if you enjoyed this and if you want me to make more content like that. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one.